Simmons, they clear it out for him. Tapping his way in. Spins on Gallinari, gives it up. Oh, he was right there. And a foul as Thibault goes to the basket.
You think Ben Simmons can still be a point guard for a championship team like the one you guys want to become?
Yeah, David, I don't know that question or the answer to that right now.
Ben Simmons can be an all-star, but that's all he can be until he learns how to shoot. If a guy is, my second best player can't shoot, I can't go to him with the game on the line. I don't even have him in the game.
But I thought the turning point was just, we had an open shot and, we made one free throw and we missed the other, and then they came down and scored.
Trying to do the right thing at least, like do right by, whatever the team, my teammates, whatever, whoever it is, but trying to do the right thing. And I just was not in that place to play.
Ben Simmons finally broke his silence on the JJ Redick podcast. And if you saw it, you're probably feeling a bit betrayed by the mainstream media. Ben reveals some crazy information that proves that the media outlets straight up lied about him and his situation with the Sixers.
But that's all, yeah. So, so many things happen and people don't really realize, that's not the truth. Guys...
By the end of the podcast, I felt bad for the way the Sixers treated Ben. But then a few days later, I saw this.
And see, this is what we don't need. We don't need mama, baby, and the little boy. I'm trying to turn the little boy into an NBA man. There's a lot of things that you have to go through. There's ridicule. There's criticism. There's hate. Sometimes hate from your own teammates in your own organization. But the ones that walk around like they're great and the ones that pretend to be great have to persevere. You have to get through all that.
And so now I'm pissed. Did Ben fake like he's grown so much, but actually just deflect JJ's questions and his responsibility? Or did the Sixers leave Ben out to dry like he says? Today, I'm going to fact check those three major situations Ben talked about in the podcast and see if Ben Simmons exposed the media or himself. Number one, the Jet situation. After all of this,
Spins on Gallinari, gives it up. Oh, he was right there.
Obviously, he struggled from the free throw line, and that became a factor in the series. There's no doubt about that.
We missed the other, and then they came down and scored.
If my second best player can't shoot...
Ben Simmons, you piece of...
The offseason hits and things finally simmer down. Ben's agent, Rich Paul, meets with the Sixers in late June to discuss his future with the team. There's hints of a possible trade, but no major changes yet. Then, just before the start of training camp in late September, Ben formally requests a trade. Media outlets go crazy. The news around the time is that the Sixers were doing everything they could to make amends. On September 27th, Shams reports that the Sixers, quote, core leaders were set to take a jet to see Simmons before being turned away. But Ben says this is all BS.
I was in LA for months. No one came. No one was there. You could have came. Now you want to make it public that you were flying out? That's bullshit. No one's getting on that plane.
The meeting with the Sixers, quote, core leaders definitely didn't happen. No one is talking about the June meeting where Rich Paul tried to get Ben out of Philly in the offseason to avoid all this. And Ben's teammates and quote-unquote friends didn't care enough to reach out to him in June, July, or even August. Now that Ben formally requests a trade, reports surface about what the Sixers would have done if they knew better. This is the NBA media pushing, quote, Ben Simmons news to create a more interesting and watchable show. But like Ben said, it's all fake. 2. The phone situation. On October 17th, Ben rejoined Sixers practice for the first time. At this point, Ben formally requested a trade from Philly, said he'll never wear a Sixers jersey again, and the Sixers have placed Ben's $8.25 million in an escrow account for him failing to meet his contractual obligations. But in an attempt to, quote,
trying to do the right thing at least,
Ben is back and hopes are high that he and the team can work out their differences. But 2 days later, Ben is kicked out of practice.
At this point, I don't care about that man, honestly.
Headlines read that Ben Simmons practiced with a phone in his pocket.
A phone visible in his pocket during on-court work?
Damn, Ben, really? In actuality, the story was a complete fabrication. According to Ben, he didn't have a phone in his pocket, it was a jersey.
I had my jersey in my pocket, in my sweatpant pocket, so they thought it was a phone. I don't know how they thought it was a phone, but that's what that situation was, to clear that up.
This certainly looks like a jersey to me. The media outright lied, even with practice footage. News outlets redacted what they said days later, but the damage was already done. Ben also revealed on the podcast that he told Coach Doc Rivers that he mentally wasn't ready prior to that practice.
Doc, I'm not ready. hey, mentally I'm not ready. Please just understand that. I tried to let him know prior. And he's like, well, I'm going to put you in anyway. I'm like, all right.
But all the media focused on was Ben's 1-game suspension, his fines, and the growing turmoil in Philly that he was causing.
Guys, they start finding him again. Now he's back. They've been over backwards to kiss this dude's ass. Now they start kicking his ass.
3, faking mental and physical health to avoid playing. Throughout the entire saga, Ben's physical and mental health is outright denied. Media outlets continually push the narrative that Ben is a baby and needs to man up.
Ben, you went to LSU. Man up, man. Man up. Stop messing around. Come on now. In the hood, we call this a punk move.
I know if you sit on your ass all the time, your back probably gonna hurt. But that's just me.
The crazy thing is that every time Ben told someone about the specifics of his mental situation, they backed off. On October 22nd, Ben meets separately with Doc Rivers, Sixers medical professionals, and his teammates to inform them on why he's seeking help. A few days later, multiple teammates come out in support of Ben and his situation.
A lot has happened the last few months, and I urge you guys to continue to support us and our teammate Ben, because he's still our brother. Let's go.
Then a few months later, Ben DMs Shaq after seeing Shaq roast him on live television.
He sent me a text. He's going to do some things right now, so I'm going to back off. As an LSU brother, I'm going to back off. But I wish him well. I wish he makes the best decision for him.
Clearly, his mental situation is really serious. Shaq's reaction says it all. Plus, on the physical issues. After attempting a comeback with the Nets, Ben needed surgery in May. Why would anyone get sliced open and go through 12+ weeks of rehab to fake an injury? Ben was definitely dealing with real physical and mental health issues. I was with Ben the whole way through this interview.
And that's all I wanted was help. I didn't feel like I got it from coaches, teammates. I won't say all teammates because I had these great guys on that team that, did reach out that are, still my friends. But I didn't feel like I got that. And it was just a tough place for me.
Damn, the media really took advantage of a guy just trying to get his life back on track. But then I saw this.
I think that was a part of it too. Like people like, well, let's take his money. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck about the money. Like I don't care about the money. It's not about the money for me now. Like I want peace and happiness. Like I want to be in a good place. And that, if that costs me whatever it's going to cost, that's what it costs. Like my peace is more valuable than, money.
Wait, what? It's not about the money? Then why did Ben file a grievance with the Sixers despite missing the entire season? It's nearly $20 million. Of course, there's part of you that wants the money. Something's not adding up. Then I start to see it. Ben's expose of the media was true, but it misses the bigger picture. Yes, he didn't have a phone in his pocket. It was a jersey. But he did get kicked out of practice for some reason. I mean, does the fact that he was the only guy in sweatpants tell you something about his commitment? Ben was just there to do the bare minimum so he could cash a check and stop getting fined. With the Jet situation, no other player needs his team to fly across the country so that he'll show up at work. Everyone is struggling in life. Suggesting that your teammates who have families, businesses, and their own personal shit, suggesting that they take more responsibility for you not coming to work is ridiculous. What about Ben's teammates' mental health? Did Ben care that they had to answer interview questions for months while he remained silent? And lastly, Ben accepts that he's dealing with mental health issues, and he definitely is. But Ben won't take responsibility for his playoff performance.
What happened in the Hawks series?
We lost.
For you personally, is there anything you look back on, you were like, you know what? Wish I'd done that differently.
No, because I wouldn't be here. You could say, yeah, I wish I went up and dunked the ball. Like because that was the whole game. Like, come on. You're spinning into a jersey.
Yeah.
Essentially. So
yes.
Everyone's trying to kill me over one play. Like I'm I'm guarding the fucking best player on the other team the whole game. Herder had 27 points?
We don't want to hear no excuse. I don't want to hear you 6'9", 6'10", talking about all I saw was a jersey. I want to see you throw it down so we can get to the finals.
Ben missed the dunk because of fear. He was afraid.
He is scared to shoot. I live in Philadelphia. We've been talking for the last 3 years about this dude not shooting the ball.
At the end of the game, Ben completely disappeared because of this fear. Literally. Ben didn't attempt a single shot in the fourth quarter in 5 of the 7 games against the Hawks. Now, I can understand why. The Hack-a-Simmons strategy completely messed with Ben's already questionable mental health. Ben shot 15 for 45, which is 33% on foul shots against Atlanta.
Throws now. That's what he said.
Those
those
right there.
mechanics, right?
That's right. See?
He's coming up short. A really tough night for Simmons. It was $5,000 in prizes.
And 34% from the line in the 2021 playoffs overall. It was the worst free throw percentage in NBA playoff history. The non-dunk was just a bow tie on the confusing lack of offense. Ben Simmons was not your 15th guy on the Sixers roster. Ben Simmons was your max contract player.
And when you have a guy like that at his age with that ability, you must lock him up long term. But Ryan, if the question is right now, is he worth that money? The answer is no.
This is the dude you built your entire team around, the guy who was part of the quote-unquote process. The process was a term coined to make fans buckle up for the long haul and give years of space for Ben to develop his skill. Then, when it mattered most, Ben crumbled. He took his ball home and he blamed everyone else.
Obviously, I didn't handle things the right way, but also the team didn't either.
I'm still looking forward to Ben having a successful year with Brooklyn. There's nothing more I'd like to see than him hitting threes and dunking on everyone. I just wish he would say sorry and actually mean it. But what do you think? Did Ben expose the media or himself? And what about this year? Will Ben return to All-Star form with the Nets? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed these longer videos, hit the subscribe button and tick the notification bell. I have a ton of awesome content coming out, and I always tailor my videos for the Henry Hoops audience. So if you don't want to miss out, hit the subscribe button. Peace.